All right, Peyton and Alex, welcome. It's nice to have you here. Thanks for doing this with
Thank
me.
you.
Thank you.
We're excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we have just barely met, so I'd love for you to share a little bit about your story, the company, background. From what you told me so far, it's fascinating, and I know people will be interested.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. I'll go ahead and start. I'm the owner of Microspace Products in Hawthorne, California. Microspace has been around since 1957, and I'm the third owner of Microspace. I took over in February of 2021, right, right in the middle of COVID, pretty much.
Yeah, that's in
Mhm.
the middle.
Yeah, it was
That's a bold move. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give a history on myself. I started manufacturing like 10, 12 years ago. I started my own machine shop in my parents' garage in 2015.
Can I ask
Um,
how old you were? Because you might have
I
been like 12 years
was
old.
21 years old. 20 years
21.
old.
Okay.
20 years old.
Okay.
Um,
Good for you.
and thank you. I was there for about a year, and then I outgrew my parents' garage, and I moved my shop to a 4,000 square foot building in Orange County, California. Um, and From there, I got aerospace certified by myself, just one employee,
I mean, AS9100 is what you mean.
AS 9100,
All by
with
yourself.
all by
Wow.
myself.
Do you have any
Yeah.
consultants help you, or you just buy the standard and figure it out?
No, I did have a consultant help. Yeah.
Okay.
There
Still,
was a
yeah,
you kind of have to when you first start doing the
sure.
AS9100 because it's
Yeah.
so overwhelming. But anyways, from there grew significantly for a couple years. I got a couple big contracts. This is before we had any employees. I got a couple big contracts with top aerospace companies in the
Hmm.
world. And my wife came on board in 2019. So I was about 4 years by myself, just growing the business and working, 15 hours a day, just
Yeah.
weekends, everything, just because this is what, I wanted to own a business, and you just have to put the work in.
Yeah.
So right when my wife came on board, it was like perfect timing. It's right when we got slammed with work. We just started growing significantly. And then the previous owners of Microspace Products, they were kind of aging and they wanted to retire,
Hmm.
and their customers were asking for a succession plan, and they didn't really have anything. None of their kids wanted to do manufacturing, and they just wanted to, they already had almost both feet out the door. They were just looking for someone to continue on Microspace,
Yeah.
um, and they thought I would be the perfect fit. So we went through like a year negotiation, and we actually took over in February 2021.
Hmm.
And from there, we've grown Microspace significantly. When we took over, they had about 4 CNC machines, and when I brought my company over, we brought it up to 10 CNC machines, and now we have 15 CNC
Wow.
machines. We've started moving into like automation. We have like a robot cell and all sorts of things.
The end of last year, we just
The last
got
year,
that. So that's been cool to see.
been pretty cool.
Absolutely.
We grew from 12 employees when we took over. Now we have 18, 17, 18 employees, just give or take,
Yep.
and we've increased our sales significantly. And it's kind of, where we're at. We're 100% aerospace too. So, you have to
Okay.
go with the ups and downs of the industry.
Of course.
But yeah, that's pretty much,
Yeah. And
the
so
history, the recent history.
you inherited a legacy ERP system at Microspace,
That is correct. Yes.
and then Peyton, you were kind of trying to deal with it with some new contracts you were saying. Can you just
Yes.
elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes. So we took over, and with the ERP system they were using, it worked for a little bit. We were able to maintain the work that they had when we took over.
Hmm.
And as our sales increased and customer demand increased, we slowly started to make changes and evolve our documents and the way we handle our meetings and planning. And then most recently, mid to last year, we got a really big contract, and The process for getting that information into our ERP system and the way that the data is recorded and, pushed throughout the shop, just was not sustainable. It was taking us too much time, a lot of duplicate entry when you do have those paper travelers.
Right.
And then the biggest thing for the long term for us is that when you have this volume of orders coming through, the smallest changes, if it's a quantity, a date, or a rev, or a part, you want to be able to flow that down as quickly as possible through the entire shop, because that impacts everybody. So what was most appealing to us was going paperless, which is what we're so excited about, because it's all real-time updates that everybody can see instantly. And that leaves little room for error. So this is just the next step for us to, have the platform ready to keep growing as our customers are, pushing us to grow. So.
Wow. So how many different places, if you can count them, would you have to put like a date change or a quantity PO change or?
Let's see. So we have our ERP system, our paper document that we like to see out there. Monday, which is I found like a project management software.
Yeah.
And I essentially tried to like build an ERP because I was trying to automate things to pick to the right people, and it's been helping, but I'm excited to get rid of it. So probably like 4 or 5 different docs: inspection report, our meeting, E2,
since they're paper, you gotta, go out there, strike it through and write the new date in there, or print a new one, or whatever it is.
Yeah, assuming you can find the traveler.
Where is it? And I think people know the drill of how that looks. And so when we were watching these, I think what was so evident was that this was made by other machinists. Like, as I mentioned earlier, we were going through the demos, or I'm watching videos, and there are so many scenarios that you think are so unique to yourself. Like, oh, well, you get, when you split parts, or, so many different things can go in different directions throughout the process. It's all things you're familiar with. So it's just, it makes it so nice to not be, have to, like, what do we find? Workarounds, you don't have to find any workarounds. Like, it actually does make sense and everything's linked together. So
yeah, I'll let you in on a little secret. Most shops think they are very unique and no one else has to deal with the same stuff. It is amazing how similar shops are from different industries and different sizes. It's remarkably similar. But
which was a relief to see on like through your podcasts and videos. Like, the fact that you even have resources like that on your website is just very telling, because a lot of times you have to do a lot of digging. I was doing a lot of reading about other ERP systems. You don't really get a lot of information until you set up a phone call or set up that demo,
So did you assess a bunch of different options before you chose ProShop?
No.
No, not really.
We did some reading, and then once he had remembered it from a forum when he saw it, I started looking at the videos, and it's just like, I don't even know what more you could ask for. So
there was no need to go to look around. We knew.
Awesome. And so you got paired up with Justin on our team to do training and implementation, and you're 4 sessions in, I think you said. Okay.
Well, we're maybe 4 weeks in, but we've had
4 weeks in. Okay, 4 weeks in. And you've had a couple per week,
and it's going really great. I think one thing I've also noticed is that the software is very like process driven, and you do have your internal like pillars that you should follow, but it's also really customizable to whatever you want it to be, or whatever it needs to be. And so is the training. Justin's been great. Like, if this doesn't make sense for us to spend a whole session on this, or if you want to look into something else, like, we can do that. So that's been
and
exciting.
Justin, as you know, but most people listening don't, right? He actually used to be a customer of ProShop. He worked in a shop doing a lot of the same things you do every day,
Mhm.
is, you know, firsthand trying to help run his business, the shop he worked at. So
Yeah, and that's helpful. It's helpful knowledge because he's relating to us, especially since we got the QMS module with it.
yeah,
He handled when in his previous job, he had to make that transition pretty close to when they had their audit.
right.
And so it's nice to know that he's gone through that, as we'll have a similar timeline when it comes
Right,
to
because
that.
Microspace was AS certified, but with probably a pretty standalone manual QMS, and you're going to convert it
Mhm.
over to ProShop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Awesome. When's
Yeah.
your next audit? Can I ask?
October.
Luckily, October.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah,
we have
you
some
got
time.
plenty of time.
Yeah, exactly. We've got time, and he's even today had mentioned if if we want to meet an extra day of the week, we can always ask, and he can see if
Right.
he has time in his schedule. And then Kelly, who handles the QMS as well, is like, as fast as you guys want to go, well, she's ready to do it with us. So
She is. She's amazing.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, so yeah, you're well on the journey. I appreciate you kind of opening up and being willing to do this with us. We kind of, to your point, Payton, you talked about how there's kind of an opacity maybe in the industry where it's hard to find information. It's hard to, really understand what they're offering or how it works, or, and we've taken, and it sounds like you found some of my old sort of implementation series,
Mhm.
with Tom or with Chad or whomever. And, we feel like just being transparent about, all right, here's what happens. You start with estimating and order entry and work orders and, just go down the line.
Mhm.
That if we can be transparent, that makes it easier for folks like you that are doing the research, and there's no reason to be opaque about it. We have nothing to hide, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, appreciate you kind of paying it forward to the next people in a year from now that might be doing research. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
Absolutely. It's not a lot of times, the industry is so like confined, it's if you have questions at, our shop, you can't just walk down the street and ask the other machine shop, hey, how did you do this part? Or what do you do? Everything's, everyone, doesn't spew
Very
their
protective of
very
their information.
protective,
But like you said, everyone's kind of the same at the same time. So it's
Sure.
funny that that's the nature of the industry, because
Yeah,
we're all doing the same thing. So having this community is so nice because we can share those best practices
yeah.
that
And
aren't
and I
often
think you'll
spoken about.
Yeah, and I think you'll find as you get further into the ProShop customer community, it's incredibly collaborative. Like in our forum, someone asks a question, even not about ProShop, and people are just chiming in and giving their ideas and sharing things. And, they're geographically spread out and they're different industries. So it may not be your direct competitor down the street, but there's there's a level of just sort of paying it forward, I think, that seems to permeate our clients, which is so wonderful to see. So,
yeah, definitely.
all right. Well, thanks for this first episode. We'll get this pushed out and look forward to talking to you guys many more times as you go through your implementation.
Yeah, looking
Awesome.
forward to
Sounds
it.
good.
All right. Thanks, you
Thank
guys.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.